This is an incredible question. It's actually something that I struggle with personally. Transition scenes, oh my gosh. Okay, let me get my thoughts organized real quick. One second. So, one of the first things that I do when I am transitioning from one event to another, is I look to see what could potentially be the natural reaction of my character from whatever it was that just occurred. Is the scene asking for an emotional reaction? Is the scene asking for the character to do some, personal internal reflection? Is the scene needing some kind of what kind of closure does the scene need? And I mean, transitions are so hard because, some scenes carry a more obvious indicator of what is needed in the transition, right? So, um, some scenes it's obvious, like, okay, my character obviously needs to sit down and think, or my character is upset at the end of the last conversation or the last big point of conflict that she's faced. So there needs to be some kind of closure. And then there are some scenes where it's like I have absolutely no idea whatsoever for where this needs to go, for how to tie this off, because then I also don't want to be repetitive. So for those really tough transition moments, one of the things I tend to do is write at least one paragraph giving some kind of closure to whatever event or scene has just occurred. And even if I know that I'm going to have to go back and rewrite it or make it longer or make it more specific, whatever the case may be, I always try to put at least some kind of indication of the transition in a paragraph and then move on to the next scene. And for me, that's really important because I tend to get hung up on the more difficult parts of transitioning from scene to scene. And I often overthink things and spend way too much time wasting energy and creative space um, on, am I doing this right? When really all I need is a placeholder and then I can come back and go over um, the transition scene later. I know that probably wasn't very helpful, sorry, but that's just an example of what I do for my transitions.